everyone, just we keep going back to a new regular Soda Lost Tapes episode review. And if you haven't seen this one, go and check it out. And we're back with the next episode on regular Soda Lost Tapes. And this is another really good episode, I would say. And yeah, it's actually a Margaret and Eileen focus episode, which I feel like we haven't really had a whole lot of those from the original, so like a whole lot of them. So it was really good to see them have an episode of their own in this episode. But yeah, it starts with Mordecai and Rigby at the coffee shop, and apparently the secret to the coffee being so good is the coffee machine hasn't been cleaned out in 40 years. Like, yeah, that doesn't seem very good. And then this girl comes in with free samples, which of course Mordecai and Rigby get the free samples, and they're just absolutely blown away of what's in this. And apparently it's a fusion of donuts and coffee. No, that actually does not seem that bad at all. And of course Eileen is so, unsure about this girl. And of course when they're trying to introduce Margaret's trying to introduce herself, so she just says Margaret's name, very weirdly. And everybody just leaves the coffee shop, and we see this hot brown stand that is happening, and we see the boss of the coffee shop wondering what's going on. And then we see the police officers, which this could be a good sign, but of course, that girl just tells the cops to take a free sample, and yeah, they just give this lady this abandoned building to put up the shop. And then they're like, maybe we can rely on our regulars. Could you? But nope. Mordecai and Rigby go for the hot browns. Like, yeah, even their regulars are even ready for this new stuff. And yeah, this place looks absolutely amazing, even though Eileen says this was just an abandoned building 20 minutes ago. And yet somebody falls through the floor. And then, yeah, Eileen in that disguise that she's wearing. And Margaret in just those glasses. And then they see an abandoned donut, which this employee stops them. And of course, yeah, this girl just does not recognize Margaret and Eileen, but of course when they revealed themselves, obviously it should have been pretty obvious, especially Margaret. Of course, yeah, she's just gonna do whatever she can to stop them from ruining their fusion. And yeah, they just toss them out, and apparently the bag, or the trash bag that they threw at them, apparently was loads of those donuts. And yeah, they're just absolutely amazed at how good this is. And then they actually decide on doing a fusion for themselves of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Which, yeah, they just put everything in one. And yeah, it actually comes out looking like a piece of bread, or a loaf of bread. And then, yeah, we see a security camera that's actually inside of the coffee shop. And yeah, that girl is just not having it. And she just wants her own workers to go and steal the recipe. Even causing this guy to go into one of those washers and turn into a skeleton. And then, yeah, they made so many. And even putting a dessert, which caused this weird effect to happen. And they enter in this weird realm. And they say the rulers of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the goddesses of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they say the fusions of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and of course, the breakfast goddesses tell Margaret and Eileen to go and destroy all of the new fusion that they have just created, and apparently it's already been taken and took into the hot brown as their own idea, and Margaret is trying to tell the girl that this will ruin different businesses. And yeah, the different goddesses come in and they start fighting with each other, and Eileen and Margaret go to the back and see all the loaves, and yeah, they start destroying them.
And that girl yet again comes in and fighting and throws this hot looking chicken sandwich and destroys more of the loaves until there's one left, which Margaret throws this tray and knocks the girl unconscious. Well, they start eating it and making weird sound effects as well. And yeah, the Fusion goddesses are like, yeah, this is not what I expected. And yeah, the breakfast goddesses are very, very impressed and owing Margaret and Elaine. And of course, the girl is just crying and like, you're not gonna stop them? You're just gonna let them get away with this? And yeah, they just let them get away with it while they leave. And of course, the police officers overhear what that girl said. And yeah, she gets arrested. And her old workers actually like, I think I'm good wanting to go and get some good old coffee shop coffee. And yeah, they go to the coffee shop, and Margaret and Elaine are telling Mordecai and Rigby about what they encountered, and they're like, "Oh man, I wish we could do cool stuff like that." Like, right, Rigby, you and Mordecai have done a lot of crazy stuff like this in the past, right? And they're like, "Oh man, I wish we could do cool stuff like that." But yeah, another really great episode, I would say. But yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Let me know.